is Amy Cardos. I am a retired art teacher from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, more specifically Ambler, Pennsylvania, and came on a relocation tour. Wanted to see Panama, wanted to see what it was about. My husband and I don't want to get political, but it got to a point where I was not feeling really good in the U.S. Being in the Philadelphia area, gun control or lack thereof is a huge issue. Being an ex-teacher, having to do evacuation and lockdown drills with my kindergarten classes all the way to 5th grade was a bit much. Just that feeling of precarious uncertainty was starting to really bother me. So coming on the tour for me was not really about the finance, because I have a very nice pension from teaching for a really long time. Just thinking, where else is there besides the US? And we have friends, my husband and I, that are Brazilian nationals that moved to Portugal. I have been to Portugal. And Europe was a little bit further than I wanted to go. We have a grandchild on the West Coast, so we figured we have to get on a plane either way. Take 6 hours from where we were living, and it would take 4 hours from Panama. That was not even, that became kind of a non-issue because we'd have to travel either way. So I've backpacked through Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Belize. I've gone through Central America, and I was amazed that there really isn't any problem with insects. Mosquitoes love me. If there's one person in the room, they're going to fly right to me, they're going to bite on me, and I'm just amazed that it's been kind of insect-free, which blew me away because that's not always the case. The Panamanian people are very warm, they're very friendly, they are very open. My Spanish is pretty rudimentary, and they are more than happy to, follow along and help me out. I was amazed at how cosmopolitan Panama City was. So coming from Philadelphia, which used to be, I don't think it still is, but used to be the 5th largest city in the US. Panama City had, to me, about the same kind of city sprawl. I'm comfortable in cities, not that that's where I would want to be, but I found, besides the traffic's horrendous, but I found any amenity that you would possibly ever want would be right there. Other things that I thought, the food's great. We have not been eating just rice and beans and that kind of thing. I enjoy fish, so there's a lot of fish, there's a lot of seafood, but just walking around the different towns that we've gone to, anything that you would want, you could find here. So it's not as if, I can't get my baked ziti because I'm not in, wherever you're from. Yeah, you're gonna find whatever. The prices on the food it's like going back to maybe like 1988 in the States. Again, I'm from the Philadelphia area, so I probably had a higher cost of living index than most people, especially East Coast. So having a glass of wine, a nice Argentinian Malbec for $4 is really nice. The same pour in my hometown would be $12, if not more, depending on the restaurant. So food's been great. The weather, my husband and I really would like to go towards the beach areas, so we'd like to come back and really find our beach. But the towns have been great. So you're talking to an ex-backpacker who would take the Lonely Planet guidebook and figure out the cheapest hostels and how to get around. And now at age 60, I don't do that. First off, the cost of the trip for the lodging, for all the food, for all the information, for the book, which everyone says is invaluable, it pays for itself. That's a no-brainer. So I would say to anyone, don't be afraid that, it's $2,000 or whatever the price tag. If you were to put together that own trip, your time is worth money too. I don't, I'm an artist. I charge by the hour when I make a piece. For me to do and put together all of everything that was put together for us would have taken days, hours, but and we probably would not have done it as well. There's no way. We didn't stay at rat trap, horrible places. We stayed at really nice places and nice restaurants, had good food, more food than I usually eat in a given day, but just a wonderful experience. The people. So it was very interesting for me being, East Coast and where I lean on the political spectrum to meet people and listen to why they were there. And sometimes similar, sometimes divergent. But it was really nice to get to know people. And through this experience, as soon as I said to people that I was thinking about Panama, it was really interesting that friends, I really don't have, other than my 2 kids that are adults, I don't have living family. Most of my friends who know me as this, nomadic wanderer anyway, they weren't surprised, but Panama, it's this third world nation. People have such preconceived ideas, and Panama is not a third world nation. It's a cosmopolitan, up and coming hub. It's the banking capital of Central America. It is just as cosmopolitan as parts of Venezuela, as parts of Colombia, Argentina. It was very interesting, just the camaraderie that has formed. So in my telling people, I'm going to go on this tour, thinking about Panama, all of a sudden out of the woodwork, oh, I know someone who went to Panama, and everyone's giving me their WhatsApp numbers, and we're now meeting up on WhatsApp, and I'm starting to talk to people who, by the way, also took the same relocation tour 2 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, and now they're established here. Right before I came here for dinner and doing this interview, I met up with a couple that have been here for 2.5 years, and they're from the Philadelphia area. They had their reasons for coming. When you ask somebody, what's your main regret? Do you have any regret? There's no regret. No one regrets coming here. My husband and I really wanted to focus in on the healthcare. I'm 60, I'm incredibly healthy right this moment. He's healthy right this moment, but I want to be in a place where I can readily assess, get access to any type of health care, because who knows what the future is going to bring. And Panama has top-notch health care. This couple that I just talked about, in the States, he was an oral surgeon. He had to have an implant, he had to have a root canal redone, he needed a crown, and he said, it's the same, if not better. The pricing is better. So she tore a meniscus. She had to go into the hospital and get surgery. She said it was great. It was a great experience. Their Spanish is not very much, and they were able to communicate in English with the doctors. They had a great experience. So that made me feel more assured. When you're down here, I have to tell you, everyone knows Jackie. Everyone. Jackie has gone above and beyond in managing and being a liaison. She's a wealth of information. And like I said before, I am someone, I don't go on a cruise. I book and make my own vacations. I could not have done this for the same amount of money. There's no way. You're not going to be able to put together this kind of package where you're going to see the country, most of the country, within 7 days. You're just not. You know, could you do it if you meticulously spent 3.5 months? You know, my time is worth money. So I don't really want to sit and you know, figure out, it's going to take me $5 to save 12 cents. That doesn't make sense to me. It was well put together. The guides are knowledgeable. They answered every possible question. We went through every single area. We visited hospitals. We visited the clinics. We visited every possible amenity that you would need. This is a grocery store in Panama. This is how you do banking in Panama. The different speakers, the lawyers, the people that they called the fixers that the expats definitely would need, were wonderful. Really make it so easy to just land and know you're in good hands.